have researched. Yeah, more than me. Yeah.
Somebody else in your family also was a good friend. I think it was Violet Aisquith.
Yeah.
A good friend of Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Amazing.
Didn't all this stammer gossip stuff get around in the family?
I knew from my dad that I'd been brought up knowing that George VI had a stammer. Yeah. I think.
No, I knew. We all knew that.
We all knew
Well,
that.
that wasn't
Yeah,
a secret. I mean, it was
pretty
mentioned
quiet.
publicly.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it wasn't. You couldn't.
It wasn't a secret
from the
because he
public.
was so young.
We all knew.
So no, there wasn't any. But I guess what wasn't so well known was the role that the role that Lionel Logue took and how important that man was in his life.
So you didn't know about him until you came to the project?
No, not about Lionel. No, but thank you for knowing quite so much about my family. No, exactly.
Any other questions?
We didn't know she ate quite so many marshmallows, did we?
You can see one? Oh, yes, sorry.
This is for Colin Firth. I had read that you were particularly concerned about not making your character seem too pathetic. And I'm wondering if you could address that at all.
It wasn't about pathetic so much as just I think that we had to get information about some of the source of the damage that this man was carrying with him. And the trouble is, if that information comes from the character himself in some sort of confessional, the danger is that it's going to be self-pitying or mawkish or something. And I just thought, given that he is a man of great vulnerability, I think George VI did exude vulnerability. He was, he didn't exude confidence. He had a kind of, you could see that he would much rather retreat into the shadows really than step up and step forward. Certainly when you see younger images of him, and I just didn't want to start to tell the story of the pains of my childhood and have cue the violins and I just because this man he also had wit and he had a sense of irony and a wryness about himself. I wanted to make sure that was never far away, and I think that it was very helpful to have the humour that exists in the relationship with Logue, and we all worked very hard to make sure that was present, and because I do think that was a possible pitfall. This was a story of a man with a huge number of problems, and it could not just be a litany of woes, and so that was definitely a concern, and I think the humour and the dynamics of the script and the story really did help us, so we didn't have to dwell too much on that.